Hi, Matt. How's it going?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. Just wanted to say congratulations. The show was absolutely fantastic. I love the episodes I've seen so far.
Thanks.
Um, and it's fair to say, I think you've probably had the absolute hardest job of any filmmaker in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is unlike anything they've done before.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I've had the best job. Yeah, it's hard for sure, but it's so much fun, being able to jump around between all these different worlds and no day on the WandaVision set was at all like another day, which was great. You're in the 50s, you're in the 70s, you're doing Marvel action on a green screen, whatever. It was fun. It was fun.
Was there one particular decade or era that was harder than any of the others to realize on screen?
Uh, they all had their own challenges and they were fun. Black and white is its own thing. We shot the first episode in front of a live audience, which was fun and super exciting. Gave it a lot of energy. We had to figure out, what does Vision look like in black and white, and we did some tests and realized that the red makeup looked terrible in black and white. So we ended up making him blue. So when we shot Paul Bettany as Vision in black and white, he's always blue, which, those kind of challenges were really fun to figure out. And when we were picking clothes and sets and paints and color, we had to look at everything, on our phone on the monochrome, sort of setting to kind of see what it would look like and imagine. But I don't know, maybe the 70s, just because it lends itself to parody so well, and we were trying to stay away from anything that felt like a spoof. So making something that felt very legit 70s without going too far, that was tricky. Yeah.
And what about the commercials that are featured in there? Were those a challenge to make? Because there's a lot of Easter eggs that are included in all of these things.
They were super fun to make. I mean, I was watching all these old episodes of television, obviously for the show, but then I got to watch all these amazing old commercials too, and they're charming. They're so fun, and each era is very very different. And so designing those commercials, creating them based off of some of our reference was really fun.
And realizing all of these different Marvel characters, some that we don't see in the first three episodes that are from the larger universe, was there any thought to any other characters from Wanda or Vision's past that maybe bringing them into the mix? Because hear references to Wanda's brother. Was there any thought about maybe including a larger element of these characters in the storyline, or was it always focused on the two of them?
Well, I wouldn't want to say anything about what might be coming. One of the great joys I find as a watcher of Marvel product, even though I want to know all the answers and I want to know now, is ultimately I really don't want to know. I want to watch it and I want to enjoy it and have all those things be surprising for me. So, wouldn't want to say anything about what might come, but the core of the show is this amazing relationship between Wanda and Vision, which has a long history in the comics, but has been done brilliantly in the movies when Paul and Lizzie are amazing together, and they have relatively little time on screen. They manage to make a huge indelible impression, and you really root for them. And it's about taking that relationship and giving it 9 episodes to go deep and develop it and do some pretty wonderful things with it.
And the way that the story is set up, it's all marketed and presented as this is a limited series. This is a story that is told over 9 episodes. Obviously, you can't give anything away about what comes later, but has there been any thought about continuing this in one capacity or another beyond just this one season?
Gotcha. No, I mean, who knows what the end is in Marvel? No end is really an end. Who knows? It is a complete story, but who knows about the future?
And as far as you, are there any particular comic storylines from these two characters that were major influences in creating this series?
Pretty much all of them. I think I'm a huge comic fan, and so jumping into this project was just permission to read everything about these characters that's been out there, and that was super fun. But much like each of those comic issues that which I love and admire, each one of them was building on what had come before in the comics, and that's really what we hope to do with this project and what the MCU has done in general. None of them have been strict adaptations of comic runs. They're their own new creations that are building on what has come before, and that's the hope with this as well.
Awesome. Now, as far as the way that the schedule was originally set, WandaVision was not going to be the first Disney Plus series. So, do you feel that there's any pressure on you or how this is being rolled out because it is so different Falcon and the Winter Soldier looks like it's going to be just like one of the movies. This is definitely not. Did you feel like there had to be anything for yourself to prep in this being the first one on the air?
We continue to make the same show that we've been planning to make for the last couple of years and just try to make it the best version of that we possibly could. The fact that it ended up being the first on streaming didn't change anything about how we approached the product, but it did, it was exciting and wonderful. And in a way, it felt maybe like it was destiny, because here's this show that's a giant love letter to the history of television being the first offering for streaming, and so it felt right. And in retrospect, maybe it should have been first anyway. So that's great.
And as far as the supporting cast, there's so many great performances throughout this show. And, I'm a little biased because I'm a huge Kathryn Hahn fan. How was it working with her? Her character, without giving anything about who she really is or who she is in the series, was there anything that she brought to it that was not originally in the script, something that she brought to it as her own?
Oh, so much. She's a genius. I've known Kathryn Hahn a long time. I never stop being amazed by her talent. She can do anything. She's a brilliant comedian. She is a phenomenal dramatic actor. She can do anything. And her mind is so alive. And so working on this show with her has been really fun. And yeah, she's brought a lot of stuff to it, a lot.
Awesome. And obviously you're still in the midst. This show is going to be rolled out in episodic, so we're going to have to wait week to week to see it. Was there any ever consideration as releasing it in that binge format, or was it always set up to be, we're going to do one chapter a week and everybody's got to wait anticipation to see what's going to happen?
We knew from the beginning that that's how it would be released. And I'm really glad, because I love binging. It's great. But this format allows you, especially for a show like this that's teasing out the puzzle of what the show is, it's nice to have that week between to think about it and speculate and figure out what you think might be coming. And also, this is a show about television, right? And so to see it week to week feels right in a way as well. And I miss having water cooler shows that you can talk about. Game of Thrones, Mandalorian has been doing it, and I think it's been great. It only, I think, contributes to the excitement.
It does, and I know that I've got to wait a long time before I can see what comes after these 3 episodes that we've already seen, and I'm excited to find out bit by bit and do all those theorizing and conversations with my friends and find out what's coming next. For you, moving into the future, thinking about what could come next with your relationship with Marvel, are there any other characters that you would love to create a show or a film about? Any of your favorites that haven't been done yet?
Oh my gosh, that is a great question to which I have no real answer. There are so many fabulous characters in the Marvel universe, certainly from the comics that I was growing up, that I loved. And there are ones that are currently, in the world of the MCU that I love as well. You've got one right behind you that I absolutely love. That's Spidey, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Spidey, I used to dress up as Spider-Man pretty much exclusively between the ages of 3 and 5. I probably would still if society would let me. So yeah, love Spidey.
Awesome. With all of the different Easter eggs and theories that have already happened with the teasers and trailers that we've seen, there's so much already on the internet with everybody that is thinking it might be this, thinking it might be that. The one thing we know for sure is that this is going to directly lead into Doctor Strange. Is there anything about knowing that this was going to connect to that you had to keep in mind when you were making it, to make sure that there were any rules that you had to follow so that it wasn't going to go in the wrong direction?
The one thing that's so great about this interconnected universe is it really feels like a long relay race, and we got the baton passed to us and we're running with it, and we're passing it off, to Sam Raimi, and he's running with it. And we're able to create and have the freedom and the flexibility within the world that we're working in. Of course, we are having conversations, and we have the wonderful and amazing Kevin Feige, who spins all the plates and knows where all the stuff is going and can help us nudge in one direction or another if we need to. But it really is a wonderful sort of relay race. Everything builds on the thing that came before.
Wanda, what's up?
Who are you?
I don't know.
I think something's wrong here.
Let's fight for it.
Well, I think we handled that well.